So, hi, Mary.
Hi, Kris.
I want to introduce folks to my friend Mary Glazer. Um, and Mary and I are accountability partners. We've been accountability partners since April of 2018. It's been a while. As of today's recording, we're looking at like 27 months. Do you remember how we came about
I
becoming
think
accountability partners?
I know. I can't believe it's been that long. But we were in Dr. Amanda Kemp's class, and I think it might have been the first time you were taking the class, and I had taken it. That was maybe the second or third time that I'd taken a class with her,
Mhm.
and we were accountability. We were buddies,
Yeah.
anti-racism buddies for the duration of the class,
Right.
and
Yeah.
when it was coming to an end, we decided that we wanted to continue to be accountability buddies so that our work around anti-racism would continue to be a priority.
Yeah, that's right. Because that was I think an 8 week class, and
Mm-hmm.
she connected us. Um, I don't know if she connected us randomly or if she just kind of thought that we would be a good fit. But boy, am I! I mean, talk about how a valuable relationship and the growth that I've been able to experience just in our conversations together. Yeah.
Yeah, and we meet, only about once a month for about an hour. I mean, it's not like a huge time commitment, but boy, it feels really packed and impactful.
Yeah, we've read a couple of books together. We've
Mm-hmm.
read, in fact, I think I have them here. Right now, we're reading My Grandmother's Hands, and we read The Color of Law.
Law of Law.
Have we
Yeah.
read any other ones?
I think those are the only two that we've read.
Okay.
That's all I remember. I remember,
Yeah.
The Color of Law was really eye-opening, and it was very dense.
Yes, that was a very heavy read, as I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas My Grandmother's Hands is more, well, I mean, he talks about the body a lot and how we carry racism within our bodies and what that means, and then what that means for what we need to do to heal and to work toward being anti-racist.
Yeah, his approach to that, the whole paying attention to your body reactions, I think is incredibly valuable. I don't know if anybody who's listening has noticed, but I've noticed recently on the news, on interviews, a lot of people of color who are being interviewed refer to themselves as Black bodies. I don't know if you've noticed that, but yeah, and it really harkens to Resmaa Menachen's book, as he's talking about how the racialized trauma, whether we're white or whether we're Black or whether we're police or whatever we are, how it kind of settles in our bodies. Um, but yeah, even our conversation just a couple of minutes ago about hearing something and just paying attention to how you react. What an amazing thing to be. What I find so valuable in our conversations is this opportunity to unpack these kinds of things with each other. And whatever's on our mind and whatever we're observing or facing at any point, we just bring it to these conversations. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it feels like a safe place to confess when I have made missteps, but also to process things that I've observed or heard, and I guess also help in discerning about if there's something I need to do to follow up after
Yeah.
I've seen or heard something or said something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's been great, and also it's a I would say a place where we can celebrate with each other the things that we did right, um, without bragging or anything, but just say, on this path, this happened, and I am grateful that I did whatever, that I did this, feel like I did this well.
Yes, yeah. And I think this point of both growing in our own ways and in our learning, just being open to that growing. And our conversation allows us to make mistakes, like you said, safe space, make the mistakes, have somebody to gently point out. I mean, recently I was telling you about an offer that I had made. Now, actually, I hadn't made an offer. I'd asked a person of color, what could I do to help? And what, and you said, well, actually, Kris, that's not really the way you want to go about this. Because keep in mind, and then somebody else explained it this way. If you ask a person of color, imagine that there's somebody out in the water and they are drowning, and you shout out to them, how can I help? That's not particularly helpful. And so what you said to me was, okay, well, knowing who you are and what you do and what you know, what could you offer? What could be something that you could offer them? And to make that offer, they actually make an explicit offer. And we talked about what that offer could be. And that was a real shift for me, because I was, I think I want to ask, how can I help? And we're so used to saying, how can I help? But when you're reaching out to a person of color who's living this trauma right now, this racialized trauma and this civil unrest, it's putting an awful big burden on them to articulate, how can I help? How, to articulate how you can help. So that was a big learning for me.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think that in our conversations, we look at the relationship also. Like what's your relationship with the person, and based on the relationship, what, if anything, should we offer? And I think, I just think that we're able to, in our conversations, get into some of those nuances, so that we're not, just saying, like, that would be a response to everybody, but, based on the relationship, what is the best response?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess for the audience that's listening to this here in the 7-day challenge, I just want to impress upon people how valuable it really has been for me, and I hear you saying has been for you, to be accountability partners, to have an accountability partner, to have a safe space. And I would say that's one of the primary steps if you're really open to learning, to put yourself in a position where you can be humble enough. I mean, just to really humble yourself to say, I don't know, and I don't know everything. And in fact, not only do I not know everything, I know very little, and I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else you want to offer to the folks who are thinking about accountability?
I mean, I think that our relationship is such that we've each been able to say our, like, difficult things to each other. As we try to grow, and as we understandably make mistakes, but we're able to be able to say to each other what those were, you said, like you've said to me, or I've said to you, well, that might not have been the best thing. Or asking questions, which I think you do really well, asking questions that get at the deeper, at the things that are lying deeper, to help, create a better understanding of what we're doing or not doing.
Yeah, and you're really good at holding space for me to just sit with and consider. It takes a lot of space holding, and I do appreciate that. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk about our accountability partnership, and I just want to thank you so much for being part of this. And to the folks that are watching, I want to say, really think about choosing an accountability partner and finding somebody that you can connect with and allow yourself to be vulnerable with, and who's going to be willing to hold you accountable and help you think through some of these difficult things when it comes to racism, racial healing, racial justice, racial reconciliation. It's just great to, it's a really important role to have with someone. So thanks again, Mary.
Thanks, Kris.